Hi, I'm Diane Rose Solomon with What's Plant-Based Cooking Good Looking, and I want to share you a story about my husband eating more plant-based. So I'll start out with a question, which is how could the Rolling Stones possibly have anything to do with my husband eating more plant-based? So here's the story. My husband Andy used to eat a fair amount of animal products, meat, cheese, and eggs. His favorite thing to do was after eating dessert, have a piece of Munster cheese. It's baffling to me, but that was his thing. As you might imagine, when you eat a lot of animal products, your cholesterol could go up, and his did. And it was an all time high in 2015 of 258. Now, this was long before I knew anything about the benefits of eating a healthy plant-based diet, living a healthy plant-based lifestyle. But he knew to, cut back on the meat, which he did, which was great. And it cut back, it lowered his cholesterol dramatically. It went down a lot. But it was so drastic, and he didn't replace the heme iron that's found in meat with iron that is found in plant-based sources. And so we ended up with a little problem. Here's what happened. It was okay. We didn't know that there was a problem until one day he said to me, I need to tell you something. I've been passing out on my bike rides. Wait, what? You've been passing out on your bike rides? He rides his bike 3 times a week, 12 miles, which is great. But apparently one day he wasn't feeling good and he put his bicycle down and sat down because he thought he might pass out and he didn't. But it took him a few minutes and he was able to regain his composure and then he came home. A few weeks later, I find him on the driveway. He's not passed out, but he's not looking good. And so, again, a few minutes later, he gained his composure and he was feeling fine, as if like almost like nothing had happened. But we immediately went to the doctor and they checked his blood, and his hemoglobin numbers were low, indicating that he was anemic. So they said, take it easy and start taking some iron supplements, which he did. In the meantime, we had tickets to go see the Rolling Stones concert at the Rose Bowl, and I've wanted to see them for decades. All was fine at first. We got there and he got a couple beers. He may or may not have had a little bit of marijuana. We're not going to discuss that, but he did. He's a big guy though. He's 6'1", 176 pounds. He goes to concerts all the time. He has a couple of beers, a little marijuana, like no big deal, not a problem. So the concert began. We had great seats. We were dancing. We were with friends. We were listening to the music. It was just really fun. But around the third song, I looked over and he was sitting down, and he never sits down in concerts. And I said, "Are you okay?" And he looked up with like a glazed look on his face. And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, I didn't believe him, but okay. And another song or so, I looked back down again at him. He's still sitting, which was still really weird. And it was, you can't always get what you want. And he just completely passed out and slumped to the ground. And not like a drunken passed out, but a, is my husband dead passed out. There was pandemonium, it was crazy. I will spare you the sordid details of what happened. The medics were alerted, they came down, and I will spare Andy the embarrassment of describing how we got him from our seats really low down to the medic area, but they did. It was not pretty, but they did. Now, up in the medic area, they gave him an IV bag with fluids, which made him start feeling better. They took his vitals. They did a bunch of tests to make sure he wasn't in any grave danger, and he slowly started to feel better. Needless to say, I missed the rest of the concert, but of course, that is what it is. And the medics at the end of the concert said to us, it's up to us whether or not we want to go to the hospital. They didn't see any grave danger. I said, I thought he might be anemic. And they said, well, it's up to you if you want to go. And his comment to me was, if I feel okay, or actually, I said, if you feel okay enough to walk into the house on your own volition, then we can go home. But if not, we have to go to the hospital because he's a big guy and I can't carry him. So by the time we got home, he could walk up the steps. He slept it off. Went right to the doctor the next day. Started with the cardiologist. She said his heart was perfect. That wasn't the problem. We also did blood work. And of course, we found out that he was, in fact, anemic. So he started eating meat again because the iron pills upset his stomach, which now fixed the anemia, but the cholesterol numbers went up. So it's total roller coaster crazy. So fast forward to 2022, he had a new cholesterol check and no big surprise, but it was high. And the doctor said, I'm this close to putting you on statins. And I said, whoa, 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 let's slow this train down a little bit. Because I had recently attended the Cornell online plant based nutrition program, and I knew a little bit about eating iron rich plant foods. And that when you did that, you don't need to eat meat in your diet for your iron. So I was learning to cook more whole food plant based. And I said, let's try to change your diet and let's see if we can get enough iron into you that will, bring your iron levels up and also will bring your cholesterol down because you're not eating the meat. I mean, he wouldn't be the first person to try this plant based health experiment. So my mother in law chimed in, well, this is hereditary. He's going to have high cholesterol. And I said, let's just see what we can do. If you're right, statins it is, but let's give a healthy plant based diet a try. So, you know what I've learned? Not everything is hereditary. And I can say that because for the past year or so, we've been living a much healthier plant based lifestyle. And guess what? His cholesterol came down from that high of 258 in 2015 down to 178, where it is now. And Andy gives blood every 8 weeks or so, and they check to make sure he's not anemic. So the last time he donated, his numbers were perfect. We did it all with a healthy plant based diet. His cholesterol numbers came down. He's no longer anemic. And he's not plant exclusive like I am, but he has dramatically cut down on the amount of animal products that he consumes, all while increasing the greens and legumes and whole foods in his diet. He said he doesn't eat beans, but I sneak him in all the time. So we do owe a debt of gratitude to the Rolling Stones. Had we not gone to that show, he might not have had such a dramatic experience to quickly wake him up to the issue at hand. And I guess my only question is, will I ever see a whole Rolling Stones concert? I don't know. I only saw about 5 songs, so we'll see. Anyway, that's our story. Thanks for tuning in and come back for more another time. And check us out on our website, What's Plant Based Cooking Good Looking. We've got cooking classes and lots of other information for you. Bye bye.